The pregnant mamas, they need more attention to their feed. They need more nutrition. So I'm going to go ahead and set up their new fence a day early, and we're going to see if we can just separate them inside the fence with a little short fence. Also, in about 3 weeks, this one is going to be processed. We have a really hard time. How we're going to catch her, I don't know. We're going to have to try to figure out some way to maybe run her through a chute. I might build a box that she can run through that we can capture her in or something. I don't know how we're going to catch her, but that's part of the problem, is we can get our hands on most of them, but not that one. So she'll be the first to be processed. We don't want her creating babies that do the same thing, run away all the time and can't be captured or can't be handled. So we're gonna try to breed good traits. Doing the sheep today. We got this good start on the roof yesterday, but I'm doing the sheep today because the wind is blowing so hard. I need to do some preparation to be able to put that first piece on this section. So I think I can get all that preparation done later today. And if the wind settles down, I can go ahead and start putting some roofing up there. I'm gonna do like that little bit that I've already done. And then I'm gonna do the same amount on the top, a little bit more on the top, a little bit more on the top. Because if I do the whole bottom, I'm concerned when I try to carry a panel up to the top, I might scratch the roofing as I'm trying to drag it up there. Cindy's filling up the water. We got them separated. So the two mamas that are pregnant are over in here, and we also wanted this one to be in here. But then one of the babies is in here that we didn't want. But it seems like it's too hard to get her back out of here, so we're gonna let them start getting used to being separated before we try to pull her out. Yeah, she was looking at the fence and thinking about trying to bust through or jump over. So we quit chasing the little baby because it was startling the big sheep. Okay, the wind hasn't been too bad for the past few hours. So I've been up here working, putting on the upper section of this roof. I guess I'll just show you. I'm standing on the peak of the roof. Well, not right at the peak, but close to it, hanging from this rope on a harness, standing on the metal. I got my drill balanced on my end of my toe. Enjoying the view. Not really. I've been totally focused on the roof. So the edge of this metal is like a razor blade, and I've got my rope right across it, but the rope would have to go across it and cut it. Just resting on it is not going to cut, and actually it's bending the edge a little, which is no big deal because that'll be underneath the roof cap. You can see right there, bending the steel, but the roof cap will come down and it'll cover down to here. So I didn't really want to do this roof at all. I didn't want to be up here. Oh, there's my shadow. Here I am standing on my own hand. But as I've gone along, just putting one foot in front of the other, I've been able to get this far. And I'll be able to get this whole side of the roof done but I am not. I don't know. Maybe doing the same technique, I'll figure out a way to do the other side. But I don't want to. I think the biggest thing is getting the panels up there, dragging them up and getting them aligned. I think that's the part that's just not going to be something I can do. I might need to watch some YouTubes and see if I can learn something that might help. But another thing is, how do you put the ridge vent on here? I know I've got my rope coming up through from the inside, and I could throw it down the other side and tie it to the tractor or something. But then how do you put the roof cap on, which sits up higher and it's just thin metal, just like this metal is, without crushing the top of it with your rope? You know, if you're hanging down on the other side. Maybe I could walk along the roof. Maybe I could put a rope between my ankles so my feet don't spread, and I could just walk with my feet on both sides of the roof. But then when you get to the end, what? And how do you get down? So all I need is a sky hook. I'll just hang it right here and then have the rope come down, or hire a crane, you know. So Claire got a new phone because her screen stopped working, and she ordered some screen protectors that are made of tempered glass. So she was asking if I wanted one, and I said, probably not. I've already got one on my phone, even though my screen is cracked. I was looking at her screen protectors. I started thinking, tempered glass screen protector, I wonder if maybe my screen is not cracked. So I peeled the protector off, and all the cracks are on the screen protector. So it was broken, but my screen was not broken. So for at least a year, I've been looking at a broken screen thinking it was my screen. And to replace the screen on this phone is $350. So I was not going to replace it. So now I've got a brand new screen because of my daughter, who is so, what's the word? Generous. Thank you, Claire. It's been a warm day. So actually I've been working on the roof. I mean, I've been dressed like this most of the day. The high has been 65 today. It's crazy. So I got some of the roofing done, but then I had just gotten a sheet of metal all the way up there. It's really difficult to get it up into place. And the wind yanked it out of my hands, kind of curled it up towards my face. But then it kind of went around, scratched part of the roof. I kind of threw it to get it off the roof so it wouldn't do too much damage. Right at my golf cart. Somehow, God blessed us that the golf cart's not damaged. The sheet of metal that got thrown off, it's got some damage. I probably won't use it. I'll probably get a replacement. It's one of the somewhat smaller pieces, so it's not going to cost a fortune. So the wind discouraged me enough to just stop. I don't need more problems happening up there and maybe get cut or something or damage something else. So I'm just going to wait till it's not so windy. I think the wind has calmed down to almost zero now in the past 45 minutes. But I just came back in here and started working on the shelving again. So that's what I'm working on right now. I got this brace going across, holding it in place because I've drilled some holes in the side and I want to run some screws back through. And unless I have another person holding it in here or another object holding it, then I'm not going to be able to get my screws in. Yesterday, I was noticing that we might just have to take down this roof because the sun shines so bright and reflects off of here and goes in the windows here in the mornings where we look out at the house and we're like, I can't see. So I'm not sure. Maybe we just need to turn the whole house a little bit so that it reflects in a different direction. Sounds like we lost a chicken this morning. Cindy said there's one in the chicken coop that's dead. Her description kind of sounds like maybe a raccoon might have gotten it. She found a place where something had gone under the fence, so I think she's already fixed that. We're thinking we're gonna narrow down our chicken population. We might have mentioned it before because it's a thought we've had for a good while now. That next time, so we're getting some meat chickens coming soon. And as we get those ready to process, we might go ahead and thin out our egg-laying chickens some. Maybe just take out the ones that don't look very healthy or ones that are really thin. Try to keep the best ones to maybe raise some more later. If we want to produce a few more, we can put them in the incubator. Healthy chickens, good breeding lines. It does look like something just walked right in the chicken door and got hold of one of the chickens. I'm not going to show it because I don't think it's something that should be on YouTube. Not that it's terrible, it's just not something that should be on there, I think. It is terrible for any animal to be attacked. At the same time, it's part of nature. That's how carnivorous animals eat, is they go and take down other animals. Maybe if we have time around dusk, I might come and sit out here for a little bit and see if I hear anything rustling around, because we can't have raccoons just eating up all our chickens. So when the Energizer is flashing green red, it's showing that the battery is running down, but you're still getting just as strong of a shock. I checked the fence and it is zapping, so that's not a problem. Actually, it can continue going green red for a good while before it's gonna run down all the way. Now we lost another chicken in the middle of the day. We just found it around 3 o'clock and it wasn't even completely cold, so we know that it wasn't one that we just happened to miss. It was underneath the coop. So now I'm sure that I'm going to be coming down here and keeping an eye out around dusk or just as it starts to get dark. And we'll also probably have to close them into the coop, close the door, which normally we haven't had to do with the electric fence for about 3 years now. We haven't had to close any doors, and where we lived previously, we didn't have to close the chicken house doors, but a lot of people do. Some people have remote control doors and light sensing doors that close when it gets dark. I'm putting screws through from the backside to hold the shelf in place. So it looks like no time has gone by at all on the video, but it's been about half an hour. And right after I spoke, I went out and patrolled around the chicken area. And sure enough, I saw some eyes. You know, I use a flashlight and I hold the flashlight close to my eyes so you get that good reflection back from animals' eyes. So I went over, and yes, if something's killing my animals, we have to get rid of predators. So that's what I was out there for. And it was a large possum. And I'm 90% sure that that's what was doing the damage. The way that it was eating the chickens, to me, seems like it could be a possum. We're a little wondering, at night, a possum could definitely catch a chicken. In the middle of the day, we're not so sure. But the damage was about the same on both chickens. And so I'm pretty sure we've eliminated our problem for now. Now I have to grab a shovel and go out in the dark. You can see dark. That's why I got the headlamp on, so I can go dig a hole. Okay, shaping up a little bit. I've just got some braces on here to hold these in place because there's nothing else holding them. And then I'm going to put a centerpiece in here. I don't have enough of these long ones, so I'm gonna have to stop halfway on the front side and do it in 2 pieces, if that makes any sense. I was thinking about our predator, our possum that we had to put down tonight. And we've never talked about any of this kind of stuff on our channel before. Earlier, I was happy. I'm happy that I'm taking care of the chickens, that we're not going to lose a bunch of chickens. Also happy that we got it the first night and that we dealt with it quickly and easily. So we don't want to do this every day. We don't want to do this at all unless there's a need. And that same, I think it was probably the same possum, has been eating cat food out here in the outside in the barn. If you can see it in the dark, yes you can. This barn right here, the cats eat in there, and because other things get their food, we have to set their food dishes on top of the trash cans. But one of the creatures that was eating their food was this possum. And that possum's been eating food from the cats for months. So that's not something that they need to be, you know, that's not a predator. That's just an animal that's stealing some food. You know, we have neighbors' cats that come over and steal some food. So anyway, just wanted to say that we're not bloodthirsty around here.